if you go through it, you will find out that Hosea, in fact, had lived, in fact, with the order and the respect with his wife. But now when it got to a point where now this woman would run away and go there in the streets and the other towns to do what? To do prostitution, isn't it? So he did all this and slept with as many men as she could wish. But when now the Lord appeared to Hosea himself, he asked Hosea if he could do what? He could go back to the streets and bring back that prostitute wife so that he can stay with him.
Yes.
Normally, in the normal circumstances and in the current situation, it is very difficult to find out that in fact a woman has gone out there and committed all sorts of adulteries, then readmitting her back. But no, despite all this, in fact, God had to request Hosea so that they could go back and bring him with the children that he has even gotten out there, and even the ones that they had together. It becomes very difficult. But now, what does this tell us? This tells us, in fact, between the marriage that we have with God and the marriage that we have with God, and in reverence to the marriage of Hosea, isn't it? You see here, the writer or the paper tells us that now we are always ataratras. We go against the law. We go there, we talk about, in fact, doing everything against the Lord, isn't it? But God does not
give up on us.
That does not at least don't accept us, continue accepting us, despite us going all this astray. So here, the Lord is referring that in fact, even though we are sinners and repeated sinners, we have to do what? He always accepts us and brings us back. So let us at least get ready so that at least in whatever sins that we have seen, we confess, then God can at least accept us, He can save us, and He will bring us back to His fold. So for the interest of time, and I think we have been warned, I think that is what I can contribute.
Just to add a few remarks, that the type of marriage that God is comparing with Hosea marrying an adulterous woman is a spiritual thing that is trying to teach us Christians that we as the church, Jesus is the bridegroom and we are the church is the bride, whereby when we go to our own activities or when we go outside there, when we leave the church and go to our own activities, we are trying to be the adulterous woman. But God was trying to teach us through Hosea by saying that when God was telling Hosea, go and marry again the adulterous woman, God is trying to show us how God is bringing Jesus to come and pick us from the adulterous activity back to the church so that we can be united and be one body and one flesh. So for Madam, you can take us through the Wednesday part.
Isaac and Rebecca. It is a long story, but we are going to cut it short because of time, isn't it? As we read from the book of Genesis 24, it is from verse 1 to 4. Now, when Isaac was a man enough to get married, his father Abraham asked Eliezer, who was a servant of Abraham, to bow and swear that he will look for his son a good wife who will take care of him. He even instructed him not to marry. Not to get him a woman from Canaan, because the Canaanites were idol worshippers. They were worshipping other gods. So he knew that those kind of women will lure his son to worship other gods, and it will be very easy. So he decided to tell Eliezer to go and look for a woman from his own country, the country where Abraham was coming from. And I'm going to put it short because of time. A person who does not love God cannot marry a believer, isn't it? Oil and water do not mix, isn't it? That's why Abraham decided he wanted his son to marry from his home. Now I'm going to read decisions like fool should be okay, decision that should be made in this should be love, patience, and prayer. Bible reading. If you want to marry, you have to emphasize on those. Yeah.
Also, just to add on what Madam has said, like here I'm the youth here now.
Yeah.
Just this is the advice to our youth who are watching us outside there. When you are trying to marry, God told Abraham took time to look for Isaac and wife from his own relatives. The relatives who are mentioned, it's not that you go and marry from your own relatives.
Yes.
But the relatives who are mentioned in the Bible, they are people who are of the same religion.
Faith, yeah.
Or the same faith with you.
Yeah.
So it's just a some I want to our youth that when you are going to marry, look a person who is from your, who you are from the same faith.
Yes.
Who cannot take away you from your faith.
Yeah.
Who can make you start worshiping idols. You can still worship the same God. So that is what the Bible was trying to teach us. So because of time, I like our leader here to take us through the Thursday part, then we leave the commentary as we finish the lesson of today.
Okay, thank you very much, young man, at least for this chance again. Now, on Thursday part of it, the writer is telling us the harlot is charged.
Yes.
You see, we have now learned and known who this harlot is.
Yeah.
And now this harlot is the bride.
Yeah.
The bride who is the church, who is ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, in fact, despite the love of God that He has for us, and they wanted that it is to maintain this marriage.
Yeah.
And in this marriage, there are some principles, as Madam said, that we have to follow when we are in a marriage union, isn't it?
Yes.
But now here we find out that now we, the bride, have gone out of the marriage. And going out of the marriage, the writer is now referring that we have gone astray. We have now started sinning recklessly without even maintaining that in fact God is there and we are in a marriage with God, isn't it? So if in fact we have now gone this astray and in fact we have met adulterous activities outside there, now here the writer is telling eventually now since we have gone outside there and done all these bad things, now it has come to a time of judgment, the time that we are going to be judged on our adulterous behavior. So after now we have done that all that thing. Now God has asked us now, like Hosea is bringing us back. Now if He wants to bring us back, are we ready to confess and be saved and now become righteous? The answer is that we have to become righteous. But if we do not become that righteous and do according to that will, then definitely God would have no another option other than condemning us as the bride who has strayed and has not wanted to come back as requested to the Jesus fault. I think that is what I can contribute.
Madam, what do you have something to add on it?
Yes, I'm going to say the points that are taken here. Like the meaning of wedding, the wedding of the Lamb. The wedding of the Lamb is the celebration of the victory. The joyful and glorious banquet which we are going to achieve in heaven, isn't it? And fine linen is the righteous act of the saints. Because you cannot wear the fine linen when you are a sinner. We only wear the fine linen when we are believers and we are faithful in God, isn't it? And also the supper of the Lord. The supper of the Lord is not something which is just supper, as we may.
Exactly. Yes.
Though